What's up? I'm Spinner24 Sony, and welcome to part 2. Yeah, if I look a little sweaty, it's because after I made part 1, I went running. Didn't really go so well because one of my ribs hurt really badly. So I came back a little earlier. Yeah, so I still have a lot I need to cover, and I don't want to really make this become 3 parts. I want to kind of get it all done in part 2. So I'm gonna, if I talk a little fast, yeah, you know, get over it. Come on, just kidding. Everyone knows I don't have it in me to be a mean person. It's my #1 flaw. I'm a nice person. Anyway, in order to continue where I left off, I'm gonna kind of go back to what I said a little earlier about me not liking Star Trek. Now, to be perfectly honest, I haven't really watched any of the 4 shows. I think there's 4. I'm not counting the animated series because I just think that's stupid. But I never saw the original. I never saw Voyager. I never saw the one that starts with an E. There, confused Matthew. You happy? I spared you. I didn't say the word. Don't ask. It was only The Next Generation that I saw, I think, like 3 or 4 episodes of. But between the episodes of Generation that I've seen and the 10 movies, there's 2 really big problems I have with Star Trek. Number 1, nothing happens. That's what I don't like about most shows. Like, I like shows where each episode, there's something really big that happens that's going to affect the storyline in future episodes. I mean, you think that'd be the whole point of a television show, because you have so much more story that you can put into it. There's so many more storylines. Like, examples of these would be 24 and Lost, where you can't miss an episode. You have to watch everything, every episode, otherwise you're not going to understand what happened. But some shows, you miss, 5 or 6 episodes, and you watch the next ones like nothing ever happened between the episode you watched and the episode you're watching now. I mean, some people probably like it this way because that means they don't have to watch every episode every week, but to me, I just don't like it, because if you miss an episode and nothing really happens, then what's the point of watching the show altogether? Nothing really happens. That's the thing with Star Trek. Nothing really happens in the shows. Like, Next Generation doesn't really seem like there's that many really storylines that will affect the storylines in the next episode. There may be a few, there may be every now and then where this isn't the case, but that's what it seems like. Same things with the movies. I mean, okay, in the second movie, Spock dies. Well, about the events in the 5th film. I mean, nothing really. There wasn't really anything that kind of would affect the storylines of the 6th film. Okay, the movies, the storyline kind of changes. There's things that happened in the 6 plain Star Trek films. That's the case. But in the 4 Next Generation films, besides Nemesis's and Data getting his motion chip in Generations, I mean, there's nothing that really actually happens that would really affect the storyline. I mean, you could just skip First Contact and Indirection after watching Generation, and then watch Nemesis, and it's like nothing really happened between Generation and Nemesis. I mean, nothing really big just happens. It's just kind of boring. It's just kind of pointless. But I'm really not big on Star Trek, so I probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't bother telling me that. I already know it. I'm just telling you what I think from what I've seen. Yeah, there's gonna be a part 3. Okay, my second big problem, it's just there's no real fight scenes. I mean, there's a couple of fight scenes, but nothing that great. It's just pretty much the thing that usually is going on in Star Trek is characters talking. That's all they ever do. There's these characters that are standing up, looking as boring as they possibly freaking could, and they're just talking. This wouldn't be so bad if the dialogue was good. I mean, I'm a big fan of dialogue. I like dialogue. I mean, I like action sequences a little if they're good, but I really do like dialogue. But when I see the characters on Star Trek talking, it's just like, Captain, blah 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 has happened. It looks like the blah 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 has done blah blah blah. What are our options? I will have to look in the blah 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 blah. Okay, Captain. In the meantime, continue your blah 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 being, and it's just stupid. I don't understand what they're saying. I mean, you have to be really, really into Star Trek to have a clue of what these characters are saying. It's just, I don't get it. Again, I'm not that drawn into Star Trek, but it just seems like even if I was, I wouldn't understand half the things they were saying. I mean, there's all these words that they just... It kind of seems like the producers and the writers are just pulling crap out of their butts each episode. I mean, that may or may not be the case, but it just seems like, oh, because it's a sci-fi series and it's Star Trek, that they can throw in any little malfunction or any little mystical force and have no real explanation for it because it's Star Trek. And I think that's terrible, but I'm probably wrong. I'm probably just an idiot because I'm not really good as far as understanding Star Trek. But I mean, with the Star Wars movies, I mean, you watch the fourth Star Wars film, and even though so much crap has happened, I mean, they still do a pretty good job at explaining stuff. So yeah, the characters are just talking, and it's boring. You don't understand what they're saying, or at least I don't. So yeah, it's boring for me. So I guess Star Trek 11 having some action sequences and some explosions, I mean, that would, if it wasn't just explosions and action sequences throughout pretty much the entire movie, I think it'd be fine, as long, you know, it just seems like I'm pretty sure that when I see Star Trek 11, I'll probably have an idea of what's going on, because it really doesn't seem like that type of movie like the rest of the Star Trek films are, where all the characters are just standing there looking all boring and just talking about crap that doesn't make any sense. This actually seems like a movie that's going to have some sense, and yeah, I'll probably have some action sequences that the other films were too boring to refrain from offering. So, I guess I'm not really afraid of there being big special effects in the film. But if it doesn't have a plot, then yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with it. The people are complaining that the plot didn't make any sense. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and make a part 3, because I still think I have a few things I want to say. Spencer24 Sony, I'll see you in part 3.